Morning guys, so I'm going to get this little cloak room all done today. get the radiator on, get the system connected, get the toilet in and finish the grouting. That's basically it now with a bit of silicone in. So that is literally all we've got going on today. As you can see, our sharp bag looks nice and it's clean out here, but that is literally all that's in that bucket, so that just needs to be emptied out now. We'll get that emptied. That's the shark bag over and done with. Then we can sort that out. So stay tuned. We're just going to get the hoses connected, turn the water off already, which I've got a bit carried away with, which I can turn back on, and then drain down the heating system. Crack on. See you in a bit. Okay guys, so we have managed to turn the boiler off, and it is a combi, so it's a sealed system. We've now put our elbow on and connected our system for the toilet. That's doing that. We've put caps on the pipes there so they can use the outside tap temporarily. And whenever you're working with a combi boiler, always turn the boiler off before you do anything. Now I'm lucky because I can turn the boiler off there. And this, let me see if I can get some light on the situation. And this is the filling loop, and that's the pressure gauge. So we can now drain down, and all I've got to do is refill the system with this, and then check that it when I'm finished, and just make sure everything fills back up. First thing you got to do is find where the filling loop is, whether it's a gravity fed or a pressurized system. Once you know that, then you can start looking at how to drain down and how to connect your rad. You don't want to just put a hose on your rad and just turn it on, because if it's a gravity fed, it will just keep feeding and it will never stop. And if it's a pressurized, you can damage the boiler because it will go into a fault mode and it can cause damage to your boiler. So always turn your boiler off, guys, before you make any start on any heating system. Stay tuned. Okay, so once you've identified whether it's a gravity fed or pressurized, and you've turned your boiler off and you've isolated your water supply to your gravity, or you found your filling loop for your pressurized, you connect your hose. I've just connected my hose like that. I've got numerous different ways of doing it, but that way it's just for this particular system works well. My hose then runs outside and it's just draining off out there, which is pretty much done. And then when you've done that, you can then look at fitting the rest, fitting your rad. So our first job is going to be put our radiator on the wall. So what I like to do is I use this liquid PTFE. There are numerous makes, and all you're going to do is put plenty of it around this thread for your tail of your rad, and then you're going to screw that into there, obviously cleaning off the excess blue goo that comes out, and then give that about 15 minutes so they'll be rock solid, and then you can hang your radiator. So without further ado, let's get it on. So as I was saying, plenty of your stuff's really thick and it doesn't help when it's been cold. So just give it a little bit of encouragement. There you go. Now I like to sort of push it into the threads, give it a little wind around. And then all we're going to do now is attempt to one-handed screw that in like so. Yes, I know I've dropped the bolt in it, but I'm trying to film at the same time. So once I'm happy with that being in there, all the way in, like so. I'll then lift that up and get a wipe and wipe off all the excess. And we do that for both of them. And there we go, we're now fully connected up. So now I'm going to put the mounting fittings on the back of the rad, and then we're going to eye up the centre of our wall, mount the radiator, then we can look at cutting our pipes, cleaning the tails off and doing our final connections. So let's get it on. Okay, so we've put our first parts on, which is our mounting point. Now make sure the fixing screws are accessible, so I have the top ones at the top and the bottom ones at the bottom, so I can get the fixing screws on, because this piece will sort of mounts to the wall and then that will go over, and then you'll put a screw in there to lock the radiator in. Now what I've done is I've held that in place and level so that I can draw around the fixing points, and now I can find the centre of those and do my drill holes, and then I can mount these in the correct place like that, and then the rad can be then fitted, and then I can cut the pipes and then do my pipe work to fit. Okay, so as before, when you're doing these mounting brackets, leave them a little bit loose because you'll need to be able to jiggery pokery it to get the thing level. Now I've got our 4 mounting points on, so we can now mount the rad, adjust it and wiggle it to get them to fit, put our fixing things in, and then that's the rad fitted to the wall. Then we just got to do our connections. And there we go, rad is now on the wall, so all we've got to do now is cut our pipes, clean them up and do our connections. So let's get that one. Another great tip for you, if you need to get the water out of your pipe, get one of your squirty bottles, nozzles, put it in, suck the water out. That's it. So now I know I've lost most of that water down to at least the elbow. Beautiful. Okay, so we've got our olive oil, cleaned our water out, cleaned this bit of pipe up, and I've just recently got these. And these have replacement, you can actually replace the little brushes in there, absolutely brilliant. So you literally just put that on there like that. And it gives you a nice clean pipe. Obviously not ideal to use on an impact, but I couldn't get my drill in there, so you use what you got to use. But very good bit of kit. Okay, so we need to do a swept bend now, so I've cut a random bit of pipe and I'm just going to put a kick in it. Come off of there and sweep out, but I need to gauge. It's going to be quite hard to work out, I don't know all the technical stuff, but with me it's trial and error. Okay, so after a bit of jiggery pokery, we got our first one in. We just got to do the same one over there and then solder the joint. That's the solder. Bloody moving it. It's in the solder. That's it. job done. Okay, so that's our bends all in place now. So the radiator's on, connected. What we've got to do now is cut to their elbow and then lower it so we can get on with that bit. So that's our next job. Okay, so that's all the plumbing done now, as in soldering. Now adjusted that, lowered that pipe and put a swept bend in to do away with any connections. Just have a good tidy up, clean these tiles again, and then we need to refill the heating system, get them heated up, put some inhibitor in and plumb the toilet in. Happy days. So I say that's now connected as well. Everything's looking good, it's all pressurised. So not much longer and we'll be done for today. See you in a bit. Okay guys, so we're just going to connect the pan and we're going to use this flexi. We've already connected it to the toilet because it's easier to push it onto the toilet, and then we're going to put it in place, flexi pan, connect it into the hole and then connect it to our feed. This is the tricky bit. So we're all done, it's all pushed in. We've just got a silicone around the edge, but we're looking for water ingress, so we won't do anything else until we're 100% sure that there's no water leaking out from any of our connections. And then once we're happy, a bit of silicone and we're away with a mixer. See, there's nothing leaking down there as well, so that's even better. All looking good, that's what I like to see. Okay, so I've just pressurised the system for the heating. I haven't bled the rads, I've just put it up to 1.5 bar. I'm going to leave that for about 10 minutes, let it settle. And then if it stays at that pressure, we know we've got no leaks on this rad in here. And then once I'm happy with that, we can then pump some inhibitor in, bleed the rads, turn the heating back on, get the house nice and warm again. But we fitted the vanity. I've just got to put the door handle on. That's screwed in. I'm not going to put the sink on because I don't want to silicone it in yet. Because if I do, then I've got a nightmare connecting all the waste and stuff up. So it's easier to just leave that off for now until I get the heater. But yeah, we're definitely getting there. The toilet's been tested numerous times. So we're going to good tidy up, change the light fitting, take the mirror down, and then when all the drilling and messy stuff's done, we'll have a thorough clean, silicone the toilet, and that's it, job done. We're out of here. Oh, toilet seat on, so stay tuned, we'll be nearly finished in here for today. See you soon, bye bye. Okay, so heating system's all tested and up to all good, bled all the other rads. Just got to put the inhibitor in this one and bleed this one. Inhibitor, and we just pour it into the top carefully. Our radiator, and then this will circulate when the heating goes on. Okay, all done, all siliconed, all up and running, all tested, all pressurised, all hunky-dory. Everything's looking nice and clean now. New lights in. Got to come back for that, but otherwise all good. Okay, all done, all siliconed, all up and running, all tested, all pressurised, all hunky-dory. Everything's looking nice and clean now. New lights in. Got to come back for that, but otherwise all good. Okay, so that's us finished, on our way out the door. Wasn't much content for today because there was just a lot of mucking about, a lot of running around and mucking about. It was just, here's what it is. We got it done, it's all finished. So you're not going to see me now till Friday, and Friday we're doing another IKEA Pax Hatch wardrobe in, where are we going on Friday? Welling Garden City. So stay tuned till Friday guys, and I'll see you then. Bye bye.